We have together with us the representatives of Macopedia, and these are one of our dear friends and gold sponsors of this event. We are very thankful that they are together with us and that they have supported our event. And they will showcase a very interesting and a very innovative approach for the TYPO3 world. It is something that was, in a way, prefigured by the words of Andrei Lipatsev from Google, who is also very interested into supporting the PWA experience. And with that, I will give the floor to the Macopedia team to present the future of TYPO3. The floor is yours.
Okay, Daniel, I would like also to thank you for organizing this this event, and we are really happy that we can join today on our presentations about our experience in TYPO3 PWA. So let's make a short introduction of us. I'm a CEO of Macopedia. We are a company based in Poland, but we are working mainly in Europe. Together with me on today's session, there is Adam, who is our front-end lead developer, and also there's Łukasz, who is our lead TYPO3 developer. Together as a Macopedia, we are working on a daily basis with big e-commerce solutions based on Magento and based from 1 year ago on Celius e-commerce platform. And also we're working on TYPO3 for many years long, so that's why we are together here to show our vision for the TYPO3 and our solutions that we provided in the community. So it's really nice that today our presentation is after the presentation from Google, and we heard a lot of today about the progressive web apps and how the web solutions are changing from past time. So if you see a timeline from the 1998, where the TYPO3 was actually, it was a start of the development of the whole project, and we are today in the 2020, a lot of things happened in web development, especially that one of big thing that happened is actually the mobile versions of the websites and a lot of mobile devices, which kindly changed a lot the web where we can see today. But some things are really interesting. So 2010 is actually creation of the Angular. 2013 is React apps. 2016 is actually progressive web apps. It was in the first versions of the Chrome visible. And also some things more like Apple Pay and possibly the REST API. Those things are actually things that we considered when we tried to create this product. Really important thing is also that from 2013, there was first CMS based on the headless CMS. It was the Contentful, and also another CMS called Strappy. It was created in 2016. Those actually two CMS changed a way how the content management system could be. So it's not web page HTML generation tool, but it's actually a tool that could provide the content through the APIs. And actually, we've seen this history. We've seen a lot of things happening in the web, and we see the product which we on a daily basis, which we use, and we figure out what we can do to change this product for like next generation product, right? So we wanted to give for our clients something more than just a CMS, right? Provide them an integrated web experience and functionalities brought by the development of the digital experience platform. This is like new word what our also competitors use, like the for example those Strappy, Contentful, or the Drupal, right? So today the CMS is not only like the CMS, but this is like the single place for the client, for your clients or your clients' clients, right? Where somebody is going to the web and can see some content, read some pages, read blog posts, or for example make e-commerce bot from the products, right? And in past time, when for example we were involved in the e-commerce and also we are involved in the CMS, we tried to integrate those pages through the backend. So there was some kind of solutions that the Magento was generated under the TYPO3 and was generating the content together, or there was some solutions that was, for example, separate pages, or there was a lot of ideas, right? But what our client wants actually, it's like to have a really nice digital experience, and we would like to change the TYPO3 to go forward to the digital experience platform. So one of our clients, which is actually one of the, I guess, biggest company specialized in the company benefits for the employees, and it's based in Warsaw in Poland, but actually is currently spreading for the whole European. They provide the gym cards for the users, right? So as an employee, you can have from the company the gym card, and with this gym card, you can go to the gym, for the pool, for the cinema, and all of that. So the people, current database of these people is 1 million of active users. There's a lot, and this client wanted to have some kind of digitalization to their processes, because past time those users was actually going to the gym, and the HR in company was giving those cards, so there was no connection between the user and the company, right? And they decided to have a digital experience platform for the users, and they do it together with our team. But the solution was not so easy, because there was a lot of functionalities that we need to create for this client. So for example, this is mobile application, identity. This is the profile management of the users. If the card is ready, is it paid, or those kind of ideas. There's a lot of podcasts, personalized diet creator, gamifications, what was really important for them, especially in the COVID times where the gyms are closed because of the COVID. And also a lot of things like one-to-one video streams and something else. And we decided that, okay, we can do it in everything in the TYPO3, but then there will be a lot of integrations based on the backend, right, with those APIs. But we decided that, okay, this is the digital experience platform, so we can do it in another way. So let's do it in the progressive web app and JavaScript application way, right? So in the front of this whole solution, we've got the Next applications, which is connected to the TYPO3 CMS headless, which is also, that's something we'll say something more today. And all those APIs and all those services will be connected on the base on the front end, right? So user data API with the cards, is it active or not active? Is it okay? Like locations and partners APIs, calendars, like services, like gyms, diets, and everything like that. And also what we are currently doing is also the single sign-on. So, so we can say that everything together, this is actually digital experience platform, and this is the one page where the client of this company will see every service, every detail. This is like single point of contact, right? So before this project, we done some more testing, because this is like really huge website, which is hosted on the Kubernetes and really big traffic, right? But before that, we done some more things, like for example, we created a website based on the TYPO3 PWA for the Raben group, which is also like the Next.js applications with the TYPO3 CMS as a CMS for the content. Also, we done, for example, a website for Macmillan Educations, which is a leading company in London, which they provide the books for learning other languages like German, like English, like another one. Also, they've got the solutions ready. So in case of our development and our thinking about the digital experience platform, we see some things that are actually missing, or they are still in the develop, what we needed for those projects. So the first thing is the headless API, which is available in, for example, like the Strapi, which is available in the Contentful CMS. Also, the frontend as a separate application. Maybe Adam will say more about the things that struggle the frontend team because without the separation. PWA features, which was really nice. And also today we heard on the Google presentations about a lot of that. And also like switching from the HTML Markdown editors to the Markdown editors, where we directly say how the content should work without the styling of these things, right? And also because the platform needs to be headless, also the images API are also important, because the content should be generated by API, so also the images should be generated by the APIs, right? And what we start up, like, of course, everything is not possible in the first phase of the project, but we need to find out some small steps to cover that. And we decided to cover up those three features. So the headless API, the frontend app, and the PWA features, right? So those things are actually currently ready for you. And we also said a lot about these things last year in a hack, when we also had a presentation about the progressive web app. But that case was like this was like, let's say, middle of the project, but currently we're in really far with this project, and it's also ready for another companies to use. So what we have created after like those projects, and more in details, Łukasz and Adam will cover you today. So we've done two things. The first thing is the extensions for the TYPO3, which is providing the headless CMS, which is actually the JSON APIs with the content, with the routing, with all of that. And also we created a separate JavaScript application based on Next, which is actually the single point of contact for the users. And with those applications, we can do a lot of things, not only with the TYPO3, but like with a lot of other CMSs, e-commerce systems, the IT programs, and all of that, based on actually the microservice architecture. So, Łukasz, can you say about this initiative, how it comes from the scratch, and what was the like big milestones in this project, and share some of your experience in that?
Mm-hmm. And the main goal of this initiative was to provide a solution to make TYPO3 website as PWA in an easy way. And we started to work on initiative early 2019, and we tried different approaches to generate JSON output in the most native way. As we proceed, we started to work on one of our client PWA website implementation, and meanwhile we added new features and covered more areas in extensions. Then we had a TYPO3 initiative week in Westenburg, where we were working directly on initiative, and we managed to bring even more features and solve problems that we encountered during process of getting TYPO3 to work correctly as headless CMS.
Yes, that was a really nice work, because we figure out not to go, with ideas, but we decided to create the product together with actually development for one of our clients. So we were thinking about real problems, not solving like imagined problems for that. So Adam, can you say something about the main project goals, which was from the scratch when we discuss and have workshops how this product should looks like?
Yes, so here we have the most important things we wanted to achieve with this initiative, with this project. And let's start maybe from the customer perspective. So remember the situation when you had to move the content from one system to another. So the migration process is always painful. So that's why we wanted to avoid it. And that's why your content is ready out of the box. So you don't have you don't need anything more. We also support all native TYPO3 functionalities, so layouts, content elements, grids, backend layouts, or data processors. So there is nothing new to learn. You can use it. You can use also mixed modes, so you can provide part of your website by JSON API and another part of your website as in regular way, like you used to. From the development perspective, we have a transparent routing between front-end and backend. So it means that one URL on the front end is exactly the same on the backend, in that case on the API side. So we don't care about URL resolving on the front end. Headless feature as a TYPO3 extension. So yes, you can enable our feature, our headless extension as a TYPO3 extension. So it shouldn't break your page, I hope. And it's also easy to integrate with another extension to provide them an API. But the last thing and the most important from the front end, in my perspective, was bring the PWA features and JavaScript application to the TYPO3 community. Okay, let's move on. Like Tomasz said before, our solution is based on two things. One is the TYPO3 headless extensions to provide API for your page. And second is module for Next.js framework. And this module is responsible for consuming data from TYPO3 and provide some front-end layer. But of course, if you don't want to use the JavaScript application, you can use only the headless extension to provide API. But what I highly recommend is use the JavaScript application. Maybe let's see here. In the diagram, you can see the process of making the web application we have introduced it in our daily life. So to simplify, we can say that we have split this process to 3 paths. And at the top, we have the UI part. And at this point, the front-end developers work on front-end components for current project. For example, okay, so maybe about this components, we can think like about the HTML mockups, but when you think about the HTML mockups, they are usually dead after the integration to the TYPO3 because you don't want to maintain 2 versions of HTML markups. These components are different. This is JavaScript components, and what is interesting here that each component has on its story, and this story is responsible for interactive documentation when you can see how this component works or how this what data this component needs to work on the front end. At the bottom, we have a backend part, and here backend developers work with headless extension to provide JSON API to the front-end application. And in the middle, we have a front-end app, which is based on Next.js, on our module. This is the Vue.js technology, and this part, this application is responsible for consuming data from the backend, from the TYPO3, and providing this data to front-end components. So this is the point of integration. And what you can see here also that external integration, so connection with some different APIs can be done on front-end or on the backend side, but it really depends on your needs. Okay. Okay, so let's talk briefly about the front-end modules. What have we done here? Like we said before, this is standalone front application, which is responsible for consuming data. It can consume data from multiple sources, but one of the sources is, of course, TYPO3 API. And with this source, with this API, our module can work out of the box. So you don't have to do anything with that. You just install this module to your front-end application. It should work. You can use all core content elements or core functionalities from TYPO3, like backend layouts, core content elements, multi-pages, because our front-end application and one's instance of our front-end application can handle multiple domains with multiple languages, and this is very easy. It's also SEO-friendly, which is not obvious in the JavaScript world. We have a fully server-side rendering, so search crawlers can read your page source, not only the empty div. It's also incredibly fast, and what I and my team really like is that development is very easy, because this is a separate development from the backend, and we like it. And you can, of course, provide the native feelings, but it also depends on your application, on the project.
Okay, this is really nice that what you have done with the front end, because like all those e-commerce systems, for example, like Magento goes to the PWA Studio, or like Project Vue Storefront and other projects based on having a Vue.js app in the front. And this is like the future of the web. So here, as you can see, like Adam made a lot of work with his team, front-end team, to try to provide the next app. The interesting fact is that templating moved also from the TYPO3 like templating like Fluid and all of that to the Vue.js app. So it brings like the easier for the front-end developers to go forward. So Łukasz, can you say something about the headless extension, how it works, and what's the idea of that?
Mm-hmm. When we worked on the headless extension, we wanted to make it as native as possible, and that's why we don't need any kind of content migration comparing to standard way of developing TYPO3, because we use native content elements. Also, TYPO3 is responsible for side routing, and this feature allows editors to work like they used to. And main task of headless extension is to take control of content rendering. So instead of rendering HTML, we render JSON output. And of course, we have support for multi-language and multi-domain setup. And we support also content visibility settings and respect user permissions to content and pages. And recently, we added out-of-box support for extension forms, but basically we can support every third-party X-Base extension. It just requires some additional integrator work, but we have some third-party extensions ready to use out of box.
Yes, for us was that really important not to change the core of the TYPO3, to change the way how the TYPO3 works, because we've seen a lot of pages with like thousands and thousands of pages and grid elements and content elements, and we decided to go with this kind of way to put something that is easy to modernize current corporate pages, not to having of a scratch. But this is like the TYPO3 policy and how it works within the TYPO3 community. So we also try to work with the solutions the same as the TYPO3 philosophy. So we try to work with that. But Łukasz, something is also available today, and can you have some hints what we have done in case of the extensions in the GitHub and what's still in progress?
About stable extensions, as I said before, we have support for extension forms. We also support the extension news, Solar as search engine, and PowerMail and grid elements. Those extensions are available as open source projects on GitHub, and they are ready to use right now. And we have 2 extensions in progress. So first of them is Frontend login, and the second one is mask export to ease creation of content elements in TYPO3.
Okay, then I would like only to say that those extensions we are using internally, but actually we need to spend some time to put it on the GitHub, because great documentation for that. But those first page, what you're seeing from the benefit systems with 1 million of users, is actually using FL login currently for login to the pages, and it's working with the sessions, and all those like technical problems was already solved by Łukasz and Adam and the whole team, right? Okay, so this is not the stop of the project, but we've got a lot of things going on in our heads to where we should go forward. Łukasz, can you say something more about it?
Mm-hmm. So a few words about our roadmap. First of all, we want to integrate with e-commerce systems, and also we would like to provide even better performance for web applications. And we want to add a support for workspaces in TYPO3. Also add pre-caching of content on demand, and use or adapt image resizing API.
Okay, that sounds great. Like, we've got a lot of more ideas, but this is ideas that we would like to share with you. And also we are really open to have another ideas and another community projects going on together. We're also interested in another way where the community is working, other projects which is currently on the TYPO3 roadmap, and also we are trying to work together with those other projects in all that way. But the business features of the TYPO3 PWA is actually really interesting, because it's more for the clients, for the flow, how the users works. But there's a lot of advantages for the internal teams of the developers, and we had also some problems before that. And Adam, can you share your experience of working for more than 1 year in the new way how we work on the daily basis with the TYPO3?
Sure, this is very nice for us, for developers. So there's some advantages you can experience with headless development, and most of them is strictly connected with the fact we have broken the monolith. So I can say that disadvantages of benefits of separate development. So what does it mean for me that the front-end development is strictly connected with the backend? For me, it means that we have one repository which includes the TYPO3 code, front-end modules, backend modules, so Docker files, and so on. And we can imagine the situation when the new member of the team, front-end guy, asks you something like this: I would like to change something in the template in this project, but what should I do to start with that project? And the simplest answer you can give me can be, okay, there is a repository, you can clone it, you can run Docker file and go on. But is it really enough to him that he can start to work on this project? Probably not. Beside of struggle with Docker issues and kickstart this project on macOS, which may take half a day. It depends, of course, on your architecture and project. But you should also explain to him where he can find the front-end module, where the files are. And if the guy doesn't know the TYPO3 templates, you should spend some time to teach him. And we can imagine the second situation when the front-end is a separate repository, and this separate repository and the front application works as a regular modern JavaScript application. So the new member of team can ask you again the same question. Well, I would like to change something, and how can I start? And you can answer the same. But when the front-end guy looks on this repository, he see there the package.json file on the root level. So he knows, because this is familiar for him, this structure of the project, that he can find some script section in the package.json, and he knows that he must run some command like yarn install, yarn start, yarn dev to start with this project. And this is really enough to him he can start on this project. So this is very nice. And what's more, like I said, the front-end components are always reusable. This is not mockups like before. We have to maintain all daytime. Front-end developers can do integration with API without backend dev, because front-end know the JSON API, front-end know the Vue.js or React or stuff like that. Front-end knows the front-end stuff. So he don't need the backend help with that. Backend developer can finish tasks without front-end templates. So backend developer can focus more on their daily job, on business logic, on JSON responses, not on templates, because this is not their job. Make some templates for front-end guy. Is integration with external APIs, of course. And what is interesting here, that recruiting process is much easier. It's much easier hire the front-end developer with basic knowledge of Vue.js or React or stuff like that than with basic knowledge of TYPO3, unfortunately. But yeah, and these advantages for me and my team are noticeable, and we like it. Thank you.
Okay, that's perfect, Adam. Like I can say, like from the business part, that this changed a lot our team. So we got like big Vue.js team, which is responsible for the TYPO3 projects for other apps, and they actually have well experience, and they're not fighting with the backend problems for all that. So what we've done also, we've created the website T3PWA.com, where you can find all information about this project. We're trying to put some new features in this project and put some more content on this project. And what we can help you together with for you as a developer, for the agency or other way, that we've got 4 types of help for you. So you can have GitHub repositories. Sebastian just passed on the chat one of the repository, which is the headless repository. There's another repository with a Nux.js module for the TYPO3, where there's some templating are done. That's actually easy to kickstart the project based on the TYPO3 PWA, and also there's a link for documentation. We can have also like consulting for you or SLA packages for you, where you can use this PWA and you're not sure that you can provide the quality for the client. We're also making a trainings for this way, not only for training how to use the T3 PWA, but also how to transfer your team to the really modern team with a separate front end, separate backend, with the components, ideas, how to work with Figma, with Sketch, with all of that. And also we can, of course, provide the custom projects for all you guys. And we are really open for the feedback. So after this, our session, we are on our booth. So you can go on the expo, and there we can be for like some time, that you can ask some questions for us, and we can like share our experience with that and give you some thoughts about it. And also, if you got some ideas for our projects, also you can go to the GitHub repositories, the main, for example, headless, and then you can put in issues with your ideas, how to looks and how it could work also. There's like, I guess, 80 stars currently on our repository, but we are counting every day, and we are really we have really fun with working with the solution. So thank you all. Thank you, Łukasz, also, and Adam, for joining our session today, and see you on our booth.